Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celebrating Black Excellence. I'm your digital host, Carlton T. Clay. Today, I am here with comedian and actor Kente Scott. How you doing today, Kente?
I'm good, Carlton. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for joining us here on Celebrating Black Excellence. We definitely appreciate you. Now, let's get started with your career. I introduced you as an actor and a comedian. Which one did you get started with first, acting or comedy?
I got started with acting first.
Okay.
I tell people I didn't choose it. Acting chose me. I was minding my own business as a freshman at UCLA, and a guy walked up and asked if I wanted to do a commercial, and I was like, "Hey, I know how y'all LA folks do," but he took a picture. 3 days later, I was shooting a Cleveland Power Company commercial, and once those residual checks came in, that was my side job in school. So while I was in college, I was doing commercials, plays, and things of that nature. And
Hmm.
then when I graduated, I'm sorry, my before I graduated, my senior year, my mom's came out and she was like, "I'm tired of you giving away these jokes for free. I
Mm.
need you to get on stage somewhere, and I'm not leaving until you do." So about a week after that, she came. After she was here, I went to the Comedy Store, did 3 minutes, and they laughed enough for me to come back. So that's how that all started. But yes, to answer your question, acting was first, comedy was second, but I love them both equally now.
Awesome, awesome. Now, I hear, because I have a lot of comedian friends, I hear that being on the stage and doing comedy is like a drug, is like an addiction. Like, how is that experience for you? Like, can you talk about that, elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, they did not lie. Like being on stage I played football, and the only thing comparable to it is getting the interception and running it back 100 yards, and that feeling of euphoria. You get that every time you get on stage and get the crowd laughing and get that ovation at the end. It's definitely addictive. The stage is what gets us coming back.
Now, have you ever experienced like heckling? Have you ever been booed? Like, how was like, and if so, like, how do you deal with that? Like, how do you come back from that?
Well, I'll answer the second part of it. I've had both of them. I've
Hmm.
been heckled and been booed. Got booed. What I tell people is if you get booed, that means you have struck a nerve. You just struck the wrong nerve.
Mm.
Like I did a Muhammad Ali joke, and at the time, I didn't know that Muhammad Ali's daughter was working at the Comedy Store. So
Mm.
it was a wave of booze that came from the back of the club to the front, and you just got to sit up there and take it. But like Mike Tyson said, you're not a real boxer till you get punched in the mouth. Then you figure out what you're gonna do next. So I got booed, and people were like, "Oh, dead man walking, your career's over," because it was for a big audition at the time. But then it was like, I'm not dead. It's not over. Came back the next day and did the same joke for another audience that wasn't as affiliated with the Ali family, and it worked. So you just get back on that horse. If you get kicked off, you get back on if you want to keep riding. Hecklers, I love hecklers. Hecklers are the best because that means you want to be the show and I don't have to do my set. So I'm gonna do two things with a heckler. First, I'm gonna get your friends around you to make you shut up because
Mm.
I'm gonna make them be embarrassed to be sitting with you. And then secondly, if you want to keep going, then I'll just make you the show. I come from a roasting bagging family, so I can definitely tear apart a heckler. People like, we'll come to your show and heckle you. I'm like, please do. Sit in the front. I will save you a seat.
Now we're in a new age. Obviously, we have social media and things like that. We have TikTok and Instagram, and of course, you have this new wave of comedians.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the old school comedians have an issue with that. What
Yeah.
what what is your take on that, as far as like this new wave of comedians and how they're getting put on?
Well, it allows you to skip the steps of having to go out and build your audience because you built your audience through social media. So it's
Mm.
a lot of people who have followings but don't have the material. Now, I don't have any problem with a social media comedian, but when you come to the club, and they say we need you to do 45 minutes because you're the headliner,
Mm.
you got to do more than that 6 seconds of 30 seconds of TikTok. You can't just dance up there for 45 minutes. So there have been comedians who like DC Young Fly, Ryan Davis, uh, Just Hilarious, who have built their following and also built their comedy chops and can legitimately hold that 45 minutes that is asked of them as the headliner. That's the only thing. Like you're skipping steps and start in terms of building your fan base, but you can't skip steps when it comes to building your material, because at a certain point your fan base is gonna be in there like, wait, we paid $50 per person for this, and all they doing is dancing and doing TikToks. So my only thing is, if you be prepared, because the clubs are going to call you because you got fans.
Yeah.
So they're going to call you, they're going to ask you to tour, and they're going to ask you to headline. So be prepared when they ask you that 45 minutes is a long time if you only got 8 minutes of material.
Exactly, absolutely. Now I have to ask you about this. I have to. Did you see the Cat Williams interview?
Who didn't? Who didn't? How could you not see it?
I know, right?
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on what? Because he called out a lot of people, especially comedians, and apparently there's this whole thing with comedians now. What were your thoughts on what Cat Williams had to say?
Well, Cat Williams, like I said, he spoke his truth. He told his story, which comedians of a certain era knew. Like he told some truth, and then that brown liquor started getting to him, and then he started embellishing on some truths. Like like it can't be your second movie, and then you have in your contract that you can have another actor wear a dress. That was your second movie, Cat. I love you. That's my dude. He good people, but yeah, that brown liquor kind of embellished some of those stories. But I mean, he told some truths about the comedy game. It shook some folks up, which was good, because we tend to get, when you get to a certain level, they tend to get complacent. So if you shake up the room a little bit, then you got to figure out, am I a comedian? Am I an actor? Am I a host? Do I want to get back in that? Like Eddie Murphy said years ago, I can't get back in the comedy game because I don't have that hunger. I don't have that drive to get back on that stage and fight through building another 45-minute set. The ones who do are legendary. Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Cat Williams. Cat Williams does a new 45 minutes every year. So what he said has some truth to it, but after about 75, 90 minutes into that interview, that brown liquor kicked in, and he run a 4.440, a 4.16 is what he said. Come on, Cat. Come on, Cat. I know you, Cat. you run a 4-day 40 is what you run. Come on now.
Now let's get into your acting. Now I like to call you the person that we've seen you on the TV screen, on the movie screen in the 90s and 2000s. You're literally everywhere. Like every time you watch an old school show, like the shows that we grew up on, there you are. You're there. In the House, Family Matters, The Parenthood, Smart Guy, Moesha, Half and Half, The Parkers. Let's talk about your illustrious career. Again, you're pretty much an icon here, and especially in black in our households, our black households. How does that make you feel, like seeing that your legacy is still seen on television to this day?
That's great. I ain't never been called an icon, so
I'm giving you your flowers, sir. So you're gonna get them.
Thank you. I'm gonna need a copy of this interview so I can just say that, so I can just have icons. Carlton T. Clay called me an icon. You see the turtleneck and the sports coat, icon. That's me. But no, it feels great. It's good to have longevity and still be, relevant, if that makes sense, in this business from the 90s when I started at 2.5 years old to now. But it's great because my daughter's friends are like, wait, your daddy was in, and wait, your daddy was in. She was like, yeah, I met Brandy. I was on the set. She was 2, but she was on the set. But it's a great feeling to still be around and still be available and still have people call on you to be like, hey man, you acting, we want to put you in this, and I'm like, yes, let's talk about it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, of course, I think the most memorable ones, of course, the role in The Parkers, when they had the original Alan, and then you came and showed up because you went to the camp, and then here you are on this new healthy lifestyle. How was it? Again, and then you was on Moesha as well, which was where the Parker spin off of. Two iconic shows. How was it working on those sets?
They were both great. Like in that era of black sitcoms, it was like in Hollywood there was a network of sets that you would really go to, a network of shows. Like they'd be, hey, have you been on the Parenthood? No, I'm about to go on there next week. You on Smart Guy? Yeah, back on there next week. So it was a circuit basically of black sitcoms. Moesha was amazing because you had Shirley Ralph, you had Moesha, Brandy, you had Countess Vaughn, you had, and my boy Lamont Bentley. So many people, young actors in there. So it was just like family. So when I went to the Parkers, and they were like, "Oh, this is Andre with the pressing curl without the ponytail." They were like, they just accepted me as family. So then it became Monique was a great person to work with. Dorian Wilson, the late Yvette, can't remember her last name, but Yvette was my girl comedian who was on the show. It was you left like, I'm come back next week. I don't have a part, but I would like to hang out with y'all again. They'd be like, yeah, come on back. We take me again on Friday. So it was like going from your family's house, going from your mama's house to your auntie's house, just Thanksgiving and Christmas, and they just welcome you in. So it was a great experience. The fact that people really think that I was Fat Alan and lost all that weight is hilarious, because out of 5 people who'd be like, yeah, you were Skinny Alan, one of those 5 people like, well, how did you lose all that weight? Because I'm trying to drop a few pounds. I was like, I wasn't him. That's how I lost.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Now you also you were on the web series Class Dismissed, which turned into a film, which you guys can see on Peacock. Y'all can check that out. Starring Nakia Burrese. How did you connect with her, and how did you get that role? You played the role of BJ.
I played the role of BJ, and I don't know if folks know, but you were also executive producer on the Class Dismissed movie. So shout out to you, Carlton, for that.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Giving you your flowers back right there. But Nakia and I've known her for years, but knew her from auditioning for Power Rangers back in the day. She got it. I did not. And then we were in a media ministry at our church, Faithful Central in Inglewood. So we did plays, we did acting workshops and all of that for years. So when we did Class Dismissed, like the bulk of the initial cast were friends. So she was like, Kente, you want to play BJ? He's a PE teacher who strives to be a stand-up comedian. I was like, oh, I can do that. I took PE in school and I do stand-up comedy. So it was great. It was fun. It taught me, I should say, how to improv better with a group of actors and on the fly. Like we filmed the first 2 seasons of Class Dismissed, I want to say, in about 3 weeks. Yeah, and on weekends, because we all had regular jobs and other stuff, other commitments. So we filmed it on the weekends, but we filmed 4 or 5 episodes a day, turn around and do it again. So you had to know your lines. You had to be able to improv with Nakia, who's sharp as a tack, and she's like, this is the joke, I'm gonna hit it right back to you. What's next? So it was great working with her. Sonia Leslie Shepherd was amazing. So just keeping up with them was so much fun. So when they called me to reprise my role as BJ in the movie, I was like, well, let me dust off my PE whistle and I'm there.
I love it. Now, we're not going to gloss over that you said you auditioned for Power Rangers. Now, we not going to gloss over that. So, can you say...
Hey, you don't miss nothing.
Can you say which parts you auditioned for?
It was for the Black Ranger. Yes, the only black guy on there. It was.
Oh, so you auditioned for Mighty Morphin.
Yeah, Mighty
Okay,
Morphin Power
okay,
Rangers.
okay.
Yeah,
Got you,
yeah.
got you. I'm thinking it was like the ones later on down the line.
No. This was the it wasn't Walters. It was the one after Walters. So it was the
Got
second.
you,
The
got you. Oh,
second. Yeah.
okay, okay. Interesting.
But they were still Mighty Morphins.
Got you. Very interesting information. Very interesting information. Now, I should have introduced you as Dr.
Thank
Kente
you.
Scott because I see that you have your honorary doctorate now. So congratulations on that, Dr. Scott.
Thank
Can
you.
you please
Thank you.
can you please tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, yes. So my sister and I, Shonda Scott, we have a podcast called What Sibling Rivalry, the podcast. We've been doing it for years, started it right before the pandemic and kept it going since then. So this Christian college in Houston reached out to us and asked if we would like to be honored with an honorary doctorate for our humanitarianism work
Mhm.
in through our podcast. And I was like, yeah. And it was great because when I was growing up, my father wanted me to be a doctor and I wanted to be a fireman. And he was like, you'll be the only fireman on the truck with a doctorate. So now he's got two doctors in the family. So I'm like, you got two for the price of one. Just wait. Well, God said I don't come on when you want me to, but I'm always right on time. So
That's
here's
right.
your
That's awesome. Well, congratulations on that again. Also, I
thank
want to discuss you went to Africa.
you. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I definitely saw that. Can you please talk about that experience? Because I heard it's definitely life changing. So can you
Yes.
please tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so my name Kente is Ghanaian in roots, so I've always wanted to go to Ghana uh, to, because that's where my name is from. So I've been trying to get there and I've been trying to rally my family to get there since 2019. And then of course the pandemic shut down a lot of traveling. So this year I was like, we're celebrating Christmas, New Year's or something in Ghana.
Mm.
So got all the family together, went to Ghana, and I will say this. Anybody who has 1/32 of African blood in them should and must touch the continent of Africa. I'm not saying go to Ghana, but go somewhere in Africa because just going home and seeing seeing where we came from, it was life changing. Like you
Mm.
said, it was so moving. You see so many. You hear we've heard myths of Africans don't like African Americans and this, that, and the third, and Africans don't hustle and Africans are lazy. All lies. When I tell you, uh, when we got off the plane to the time we left, we were embraced as family. We went to a tribal naming ceremony. So now I am Chief Koju Ajamine. That is my that is my African tribal name, which means born on Tuesday, but great warrior. And the great thing is both Kente and Ajamine mean great warrior. So I'm a double great warrior. So I knew it in my African American name, and I also know it in my African name. But we're going back. Like we're
Mm.
going back at least once a year. We made a commitment to that, and we're gonna buy some property over there because the other thing that African Americans don't know, when you go to Africa, you can ball out here. You will be a thousandaire in America, but you will be a millionaire in Africa. Like, I went over there with $35 and I had $35,000 in Ghanaian money. But it was amazing. Like I said, especially in Black History Month, um, I learned more about where we came from and how we were disconnected from and why we're disconnected from with our homeland and the ancestry of who we are. In those 10 days than I did in a whole 12, 18 years of schooling.
Mm.
Uh, because and I joke about this. I'm like, the ticket to Africa is so expensive because they don't want you to go.
Mm.
Because once you go, you can't come back and be like, wait a minute. Oh, so we supposed to be treated like this? No, no. It's different when you see first who you came from, how they kidnapped us. basically what they do, stole us from there and brought us here and keep us. That's why they want to keep that history out of the school, because we are dangerous people when we have intelligence, when we have intellect, when that ignorance is gone and we have the knowledge. We are dangerous people, and they know that. And that's why they were like, slaves can't read, because if they find out who they are, it's like what is it, Lion King, when he's like, remember who you are. That's it. And you go to Africa, you can't deny who you are.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what is next for you? What is next for Kente Scott?
Taking over the world, Carlton. Taking over the world. We doing it together. I'm like Pinky and the Brain. What are you doing today, Pinky? The same thing I do every night. Take over the world. No, it's 2024 has been off to a wonderfully blessed start for me professionally. The day I got back from Africa, I started on cruise lines. So I've been doing comedy on cruises. Go back out again later this month in February for 2 weeks and getting booked with that. Also taping my a comedy set in a show called West Comedy Jam, doing that. So that'll be coming to a streaming service near you that is produced by the people that brought you Laughapalooza. Marcus King, executive producer of what's Mark Curry's show? Hanging with Mr. Cooper and the Jamie Foxx show. So many other great shows, but I'm gonna be a part of that. We're taping that. And just back, I do my monthly comedy show at Faithful Central here in Los Angeles every fourth Friday. We're having our 8th-year anniversary in April. If you have not been to a clean comedy show, you need to come to this one, because it's not the clean that you think of, but it is the clean that will make your whole family laugh. Like, we have all of the comics. We've had Tony Baker. We're going to get Kim Whitley. We've had Chris Spencer, Buddy Lewis. The list goes on and on. People you see at the regular comedy club come to our church show and rock the church stage, and the audience loves it. And it's only $10 every fourth Friday, so you ain't got no excuse, because I know you got $10 somewhere in your pocket. What else is going? Got a new agent, and so back out auditioning. Just took some new headshots with my goatee and my fade tight. So back out on the audition circuit. So look for me on another TV show, another series, and movies real soon. So it's a lot going on. And also writing. My sister and I have a production company called What Sibling Rivalry Productions. So we're writing scripts. We got a couple of Christmas movies that we are working on right now, because you got to get them out in March. So they can be on your TV on Christmas time. So I got a lot of irons in the fire, and I'm very happy about it, and very excited about what 2024 and beyond is going to bring for myself and the Scott family and all my friends and folks that want to get some work out here.
Awesome. Well, congratulations again on everything you have going on. If people want to reach out to you, or if they want to follow your journey, how can they do so?
On social media, at Contagious on everything. That's KenteGious on everything. If that's too hard, just put Kente Scott in Google. I'm the only one gonna pop up. I tell people I don't get a lot of callbacks for corporate job interviews, but I get every email I want. If it's some numbers on the end of Kente Scott at a Gmail, it's because I forgot the password. So you can also go to my website, kentescott.com, and check out what I got coming up. And yeah, just follow me. Come on this journey. We're gonna have some fun. I'm telling you, we're gonna have some fun.
Awesome. Well, Kente, thank you so much for joining us here on Celebrate Black Excellence. Of course, we have to celebrate you because you are Black Excellence. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Carlton. I appreciate you for having me on the show. And next time I'm going to get the sport coat and turtleneck memo. We can look like twins.
That's what's up. All right, everyone. I am Carlton C. Clay to Celebrate Black Excellence, where we celebrate Black Excellence every day. Have a good one.